Possum. This is where the magic happens. They are hustling and bustling in here, getting it done. This is like their Super Bowl right now. Now it is time to do some fun stuff. We are gonna go feed some fish. I feel it.
Whoa, there they go! There they go! It takes every ounce of willpower not to throw a blooper in there right now.
All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. We are going to tour a fish hatchery today. So awesome. This is where the magic happens, literally, and a lot of the fish are stocked in other parts of the state here at the Possum Kingdom Fish Hatchery. A lot of different species. We got Ryan as our guide to show us around. So let's get in here and let's see how they make the fish.
I have never once been to any type of fish hatchery, and I hear that this is where almost all the stripers in Texas are first hatched, perhaps. I think we're about to bag some fry up, as a matter of fact. So we're gonna follow Ryan over here and he's gonna show us what's up.
All right, so this part of the hatchery, these are raceways in here where these are actively spawning smallmouth, is that what you said?
They're spawning right now. So if we walk inside, kind of be quiet, you can talk, just kind of talk.
Okay.
They're a little skittish around people.
They're making their love.
They don't like people. If you walk up on them, they'll scare off, and then they have to start over.
So this is a raceway where they control the water temperature and pH and all of that stuff. Perfect spawning conditions, and they have these mats, these little plastic mats spaced out where it's far enough away where the males won't attack each other. The smallmouth are very territorial. I'm saying it takes a lot more space to spawn them because if you try to spawn them real close, they'll just attack each other. So they have these mats spaced out about 10 to 12 feet apart, and they go and they lay those eggs on the mats, and the males are guarding the fry on top of the mats. Right now we're in the striper hatchery where we've got eggs. They're actually they're hatched eggs. They're fry, and they're going to load these fry up, and they'll take these to other parts of the state for them to grow them as well. So this spot right here is where they stock all the other striper for Lake Texoma, any other place that has hybrids of striped bass. They start right here. Little bitty tiny ones. There's some huge ones in there.
They're massive in there. I mean, those got to be 20, maybe some 25 pounders in there. Absolutely massive in these tanks. We're gonna see them bag up a bunch of fry in these bags, and they're gonna get shipped out to, I guess, a bunch of lakes around here in Texas to grow and for us to catch them.
We call this an incubation system. So this is where after we spawn the fish, the eggs are put into these jars called McDonald's jars. They have upwelling water, so it keeps them from sitting on the bottom. They just sit there and bounce the whole time. This whole system is temperature controlled and it's filtered, so it's recirculating filtered water. We add salt to it, so we maintain a little bit of salinity, which is good for the fish. And then once they hatch out in about 48 hours, and then they'll spend about 5 days in these vats. So there can be up to 1 million per vat. This one has about 900,000, and this one right here.
Whoa!
This one's a little lighter.
How do you count that?
Volumetrically. So we take glass tubes, we pull them out, and we count them, and then extrapolate how many's in each one. Yeah.
And what's the optimal water temperature to spawn?
So we hold the fish that are spawning. So the female fish and the male fish, we hold them about 68 degrees. We incubate them at 66 degrees.
Okay.
So 18.6 Celsius is what our target.
Keep that in mind. You're on the lake. 66 degrees prime. We want to know how many of these fish make it to live and be in the lake.
It's a hard question to answer because it really depends on the lake. There are lakes where we think we might have 50% survival.
Wow.
There are lakes where we know we have maybe 5%. It really varies on the lake, on the water quality. Striped bass, they like to be out in the middle of the lake and deep parts of the lake. So lakes that are deep and clear, like PK or Whitney, they do really well. Some of the other lakes that are shallower and murky, they don't do as well.
And why is that? They're getting eaten by bass and other things?
Yes. So when we stock these, we'll put them in boats. We take them out to the middle of the lake. We stock these in the middle of the lake because that's the part of the lake they belong in. They don't belong near shore where there's structure and stuff like that, because if we stock them near shore, you'll have all the nearshore fish. So you have your bass or your crappie, your bluegill. Those fish that are hanging around are going to eat these little 1.5-inch fingerlings when they get stocked. So we take them out to the middle of the lake where they're the king fish out there, and that way they have a better chance of survival. We do the opposite with our smallmouth and our largemouth bass. We take those out in the lake and we stock those on structure. We stock those where they kind of belong. So that's part of the goal with the program. We don't just back them up to the lake and shoot them out at the boat ramp. We put them where they belong.
Right now they're drawing down the water, basically just filtering it out to where it's mostly fry, and then they're going to load them into these bags. So this is a very dialed operation. I mean, down to the millimeter, down to the pH level, down to the oxygen levels, down to the temperature. Everything has to be just right for these fish to survive. So you gotta appreciate what they're doing here, because if they're not stocking these fish, you're not gonna be catching as many fish.
Yeah, mostly the oxygen. Get the air.
This is like the vital, crucial moments right here, from the bucket going into the truck. Like, they go really fast to get these to wherever they're going to go and get the oxygen in the bags and make it happen quick, so the conditions don't change. They stay optimal for the fish to survive.
The cool thing Ryan just told us about was those salinity levels, that you need them not only for stripers, but they prefer some salinity for smallmouth and even largemouth. What happens is, in a high salt environment, you get less disease and less fungus growing. So they're actually telling us they noticed an uptick in disease after a big drought, had heavy rains, then following that, uptick in disease with the eggs, etc. Less hatching potentially.
Yeah.
It's like science class, where we're in like science
Antimicrobial.
class here. It's been like, what, 20 years since we were in college?
Yeah, I actually studied fisheries ecology. And
Okay.
I forgot.
Oh, you forgot, but now you're remembering, I bet.
Yeah, a little bit. They are hustling and bustling in here, getting it done. This is impressive operation. This is like their Super Bowl right now, because it's,
Yeah, literally.
it's spring.
Yeah.
Like the timing of everything
Yep.
is when fisheries need to.
And this
to get
is coming
stocked.
down to the second. Like you just mentioned, that they had one step that wasn't quite perfect, and the 3,000 of these striper fry died because the stripers are so
Yeah.
sensitive.
Literally out of the bowl for just
Yeah.
a second, they're dead. And then he's also said a fingerling, like if you drop a fingerling, it's dead. It's done. So they have to be super careful.
Now the smallies and the largies you can use a little more. You said
A little more.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
stripers, super sensitive. I don't know why they are, but
I don't know.
very
I would have thought it'd
sensitive.
be the other way around. Like the smallmouth would be super sensitive. Stripers are so tough. I don't know. I just feel like they're tough. And fighting them, there's so much power.
Yeah, I guess they don't reach that level of power until they reach their adult form, perhaps.
Maybe so. They taste good. It's about 1 billion fish in there. I mean, if you look at this board, this shows you the number of little fry in the bowls that they're sucking out and boxing up right now. And what does that say? 11 million? Almost 12 million?
12 million. They had about 12 million eggs, and they turned that into 4.4 million fry for a 36.7% yield. So that's got to be way higher than the wild. I would imagine way higher.
100%. So, and if you look at their schedule here, it's like all hands on deck, working 18 hours a day to get these fish to survive and go to the lakes. It's a lot of dedication.
And take a look at the schedule right here.
Yeah.
Wes. This is the spawn schedule we're at. So you got all staff right here, but we're actually on this final day right here. Stock ponds. And that's going to be all staff. That's going on from 4 p.m. until 12 a.m. on Tuesday. That's today. That's in 30 minutes.
Beginning of the week was fertilization.
Yeah,
That's the spawn.
Yeah.
And then once that happens, it's like everything has to be on time.
Very strict schedule.
Dialed, very strict. Can't just take a lunch break, you know. Fish are not getting oxygenated properly, so it's hard work. It's hard work for sure. Gaining a respect So every time I go out there and catch one of these stripers, especially, it takes a lot of work to get them to survive, get on the line. All right, we just saw 2.1 million fish being loaded up to head out of here. Now we're gonna go look at some smallmouth fry. This looks like dirt on the bottom.
So when they
But
first hatch out,
it's all fish. It literally looks like dirt.
And you can kind of see the mix, like the orange and the black. These mats were hung yesterday. These came out of those ponds out there at the end. And so you can see the smallmouth eggs on there.
Okay. All right, so you just transfer them from there.
We pull the mats. So when they spawn on the mats, we pull the mats and hang them over here in these troughs to incubate them. So this is all temperature controlled again. Water 70 degrees in here, 69, 70 degrees. Sorry, we do everything in Celsius. So that's what I have to convert it in my head. We had 6 more mats there that we pulled this morning because they had all hatched out. So when those mats are kind of clear, the fry will drop off. We'll look at the mats. If there's just some old, like some dead eggs, some white eggs on there, we'll go ahead and pull them out so they don't get all fungusy. Those ones we pulled, you can see those orange spots down the bottom. Those are the fry off those mats. So those are about a day old. They've been hatched out about a day. Ones over there are about a week old.
So these mats are representing what is actually happening on a bed. Their eggs are sort of sticky, so they need something to lay them in. You know, they make the bed, they fan out with their tail, and they're using these artificial mats, and the eggs are stuck to them to a certain point. Then they'll fall off, and then they're just hanging on the bottom. They look like dirt. They turn into the little brown beauties that we all love.
Man, those are some big old smallies. They're actually a little skittish. If I get too close, you see them dart away. I would love to see how they feed these fish here. These guys gotta be vicious. I feel like they would be.
It's a pretty good idea. We might need to start selling like Googan bed mats. You know, put it into your favorite lake where you want to catch like a double digit. Just a nice big tire-sized mat where they can come sit on and just wait for them to come in. Now it is time to do some fun stuff. We are going to go feed some fish. What do we got? What are we feeding today?
Striped bass.
Striped bass?
Siblings are the ones in the tanks right now.
Oh, big
These
ones.
are some more of the domesticated fish that we've been growing out to spawn. So they're out in the ponds. We keep them out in the ponds until we move them to the building. We move them to the building and hold them for about a year, but we can only hold 100 of them in there. So we have different year classes of fish out in the ponds that we still keep up with. And they're about the same size.
So 20 pounds. Those look pretty big in there.
Yeah, they're probably not quite 20, 5 to 7, up to about 14 pounds. What we had this year.
7 kilos.
Yeah.
Kilograms.
I mean, you probably use the measurements here that you're supposed to use, right? Like,
Yeah, they're 5 to 7 kilograms
Yeah.
for the kind of the upper end. We had one that was 9, so that's right at about 20 pounds.
We just walked probably about half a mile. Almost all these ponds are filled up. Now the ones without aerators have nothing in them yet, but we'll probably have something soon. What we're doing is we're actually skipping number 13. We said 13 or 15 was gonna be fire to feed. 13, looking like there's a little algae bloom going down, probably because the nutrient dense feed that they feed these fish has been producing more waste. So that pond is not gonna be as conducive to feed for us to watch a feeding, but we're at 15, walking up to it. Ryan's gonna throw this feed in there, and these stripers are hopefully gonna go crazy, and we can see some action. And will you make that noise to hear it? Okay.
Call them in.
Calling them
Call
in.
them in with a bucket.
Woo! Will they come in like that? Okay.
Oh, I feel it.
They taste like shrimp. You can try them.
You can try them.
There
Oh, there they go! There they go!
Oh, yeah, those are big. Those are big.
Dude, look at that feeding frenzy. This reminds me when I'm on the bay
Yeah.
and the bass school up and feed on freaking shad and go crazy. Woo! Woo!
Where's the top water?
That's a striper blitz if
Oh,
I've ever
man.
seen one.
Oh yeah, right here, right here. They're crushing them. Why do they hit it so hard?
Dude, that is
That's
wild.
some aggression. God.
They'll knock them right out of the water.
Man,
That's just their instinct to just knock the crud out of it?
Right, you know.
takes every ounce of willpower not to throw a blooper in there right now.
Oh man.
Yeah, these are like 10-pounders, man. Look at the
Sometimes
size of the boils.
When we want to check them and we want to sample them.
Whoa, they're right there, right in front of us.
Wow.
So these stripers right here are approximately 5 to 10 pounds, I believe. Nice size. And
If I saw this on the lake, I would be freaking out.
have you never seen a striper blitz on the lake before?
Not this size,
Okay.
no. I've seen like little ones, but not this big. No.
Yeah, on the bay, where you got those massive schools of hundreds of stripers, they'll corral thousands of baitfish. I see stuff very similar to this, which is crazy to see. It's wild. That was fascinating. Hey, appreciate it, Ryan. That was
Yeah.
awesome.
Yep,
Thanks
thank
for the
you.
tour.
Yeah.
And I appreciate all your hard work. We might not have caught a striper out of PK without your help.
Yep.
Well, they started the program recently, but I know anglers all across the country are going to be enjoying some awesome striper action
And smallies.
and smallies. Yeah.
I do have one question. Have you ever seen or heard of a crab in these waters?
A mud crab? Yes.
You have.
Yes.
It's a mud crab.
It's a mud crab.
Should we show the picture? Double
Yes.
check with the picture.
I caught a bass the other day that spit one of these crabs out.
They're an invasive species. They come
Okay.
up from the coast, from the Gulf Coast. They've moved up through the years.
So they're not supposed to be there.
They're not supposed to be there now.
I'm glad you said that because we ate it and I didn't know if there was a link limit regulation.
It's this crab right here.
Yep, that's a mud crab.
That's
Mud crab.
Mud
Ah.
Okay.
Gotcha.
Mystery solved. Mud
Yeah.
crabs are invasive. If you catch them, just eat them. Catch and cook.
They're pretty tasty. They're pretty tasty. Woo! That was
That's cool.
really cool. Man, those guys really opened my eyes on the amount of dialedness they need, down to the second and down to probably parts per million salinity that they're monitoring in
Yeah.
those tanks, like down to a science for sure.
It takes a lot for a fish to survive. So when you see a fish in the lake, you catch it, there's a good chance it probably came from here, quite honestly. One of these hatcheries, and I'm just glad they're out there doing it so we can go
Oh, yeah.
have a good time on the lake. So learned a lot today.
Yeah.
That was fun.
That was really fun. Big thanks to Ryan and his crew, and they actually have a Facebook page, I believe.
Yeah, it'll be linked down below.
Yeah.
You go check it out.
Say thanks to
Tell 'em
them.
thanks.
Appreciate their hard work. I mean, they
They're
took
dedicated.
they took 17 striped bass females. They turned that into 4.3 million eggs, and they hatched out 2.3 million fry, something like that. Crazy numbers.
It's good ROI.
That is a good ROI.
That's
17
pretty
fish
good.
to 2.3 million. That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, if I worked here, it'd be very hard not to fish those ponds. I gotta say, because we were walking by smallmouth, like 3-pound
Oh, man.
smallmouths, just swimming around everywhere.
You know, stripers busting.
Stripers
a blitz.
blowing up, you're like,
Oh.
give me a top water, come on, let's get it. I mean, come on. But
Yeah.
they let us catch them instead, so that's pretty awesome. So thank you guys for tuning in to today's video. Make sure to stay tuned for more Googan Squad action right here. You know what to do. Subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.